All right, so let's talk about this weekend storm system. We kind of talked about it some on Thursday, and this recording is on Friday, March the 7th at 6:40 p.m. here. And we're looking at this storm system that's going to be approaching the area from the west later on tonight. Now, initially, this is going to throw some thunderstorms towards morning across North Texas, and then after sunrise, that will lift north up into the Red River area and then kind of north of the Red River here. And then we'll kind of see off and on showers and storms as that upper-level storm system kind of approaches and moves through the area. Now, on the back side of it, there's going to be a pocket of cold air. We talked about this yesterday. And this is a situation where the temperatures of the Earth's surface are just not going to be that cold. So in order for the temperatures to get cold enough to support snow, you have to have a way to pull the cold air down, and that is done through what we call dynamic processes. So you have to have areas of heavier precipitation that can help pull that colder air down to the Earth's surface, and that's where you get the snow. So as of right now, it looks like late tonight and early on Saturday, we'll see the rain change over to snow in the Texas Panhandle here. And then as we get on throughout the afternoon and tomorrow evening, it looks like that pocket of cold air will be moving kind of off to the east and southeast and be located or actually kind of line up with some of the heavier precipitation there from this storm system that's kind of wrapping into it like this, kind of over west central Oklahoma and back into the Texas Panhandle. So it looks like that's where your best chances for a wet snow will be located at, and some celestial accumulations possible up that way. I don't expect major conditions, major travel issues up there, but slush could create some problems. I could see maybe either a rain-snow mix or maybe a little bit of a change over to some snow, maybe in southwest parts of Oklahoma and northwest Texas, but I think in general it probably won't be too significant, or at least that's the way it looks right now. If we check out things, notice the future tracker is showing those showers and storms developing in the wee hours of the morning. Down our way here, and some of those stronger storms might contain a little hail. It's what we call elevated thunderstorms. It means their bases are up higher in the atmosphere, and they're kind of in a situation where they have access to some colder temperatures, so they might produce a little ice. Usually with this type of situation, the hail with those would be fairly small. Now back off to the west, underneath that pocket of cold air, you can see the snow there across Colorado, New Mexico, and the Texas Panhandle. And then as we get into the daytime hours, watch that snow increase there in the northern parts of the Texas Panhandle, with just showers and thunder showers down our way. Now, from time to time, you do see what looks like maybe a little bit of a mix out to the west. I don't know that we're going to get anything there. It just depends on how things were to come together. I still think if there's going to be wintry precipitation, that might be the location there. As we get into tomorrow afternoon and you see that storm system kind of a pivot on around, well, it's like that rain will mix with or change over to some snow there across west central Oklahoma along Interstate 40 back towards Amarillo. But by the time that pocket of cold air gets down our way, it means that when the atmosphere would be cold enough to produce snow, the precipitation will either be tapering off down our way or will be too light to drag it down to the Earth's surface. So it looks like it'll be mostly a rain event here. I suppose at the most, maybe a little snowflake or two mixing in, but probably not expecting too much. As far as amounts go, it doesn't like a big accumulation, but with these systems, they can be very tricky. And sometimes they can produce some big snow amounts, but it looks like, to me anyway, the possibility for the heaviest accumulations would be right there along Interstate 40, pretty close to Elk City, west central Oklahoma, back into the eastern Panhandle, and we might see some at least light accumulations, maybe if everything comes together, maybe far southwestern parts of Oklahoma. It is a very active storm track. We continue with systems just kind of moving across the southern U.S. here. Looks like these storm centers kind of move through about every 3 to 4 days now. Of course, we got the one that's moving through tomorrow on Saturday, and that brings with it chilly, wet conditions here. But storm systems is kind of hard to see because my picture's underneath that. But every 3 to 4 days, and what this means for most of us will be maybe some ups and downs in temperatures, mostly a mild weather pattern, but it looks like there's also going to be a lot of these ups and downs of barometric pressure. So if you suffer from weather-related illnesses because of barometric pressure, that would be migraine headaches, rheumatoid arthritis, or that jerky knee down there, then you could have some issues with this type of the ups and downs with the barometric pressure here. This could also result in a lot of wind, maybe some dust, maybe some fire weather conditions from times across parts of Oklahoma and Texas. And there could be some storms if everything kind of lines up. It looks to me like the progressive nature of the weather pattern is probably going to keep a lot of Gulf moisture from really being able to build up. So I don't know that we're going to see a lot in the way of thunderstorms with this activity. Your best chances will probably be along the Gulf Coast somewhere, but we'll keep an eye on it and see if any of that activity happens to slow down a bit. Here's our jet stream. This would be on Saturday, and the first little wave we see would be there. There's our storm system for Saturday. Got a pretty strong jet stream out ahead of it. There's going to be rain over this wave over the weekend, and then again, you got a little snow area back in here. Now, as we get into Sunday and next week, that's out of here, and we're going to get warm. And most of, if not all of next week, should be fairly warm. I'm talking about 70s and 80s. By Sunday, we're back into the 60s here. Here comes our next storm system. Remember, every 3 to 4 days. There's our next one there around the middle of next week. Hard to say if that would bring any rain. It looks like the better rain chances with that would probably be over into here. But again, we'll just have to kind of wait and see how it all plays out. That kind of moves on by. And here comes a bigger storm system around March the 14th. This will be towards the end of next week. A couple pieces of energy possible with that. One that kind of swipes this, and then there might be another one kind of slingshotting around on the back side of it here. Weather information really doesn't bring a lot of rain across Texas and Oklahoma. Most of it's kind of focused over into here. And, these deep southwesterly flow events a lot, they can result in heavy rain, and there could be some heavy rain over into this area. Maybe some severe weather too, but, that's hard to say at this point in time as that's what it would produce. Looks like mostly heavy rain event. But again, with these systems going through as quickly as they are, it actually kind of keeps the moisture from building up, so you don't get a lot of that high-octane energy in the atmosphere here early on in March. Of course, back when you get over into April and May, that kind of changed some. That'll be here before you know it. We'll be watching these situations closely as each one of them approaches, and we'll have better information and tell you what you can expect with those as we get closer to them. In the meantime, everybody, just have a great weekend and find things to do indoors on Saturday.